What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys have seen the last video, we did a custom intermediate shaft adapter for my buddy Richard for his A to B all-wheel drive transmission swap setup for his early Honda Accord. If you guys haven't checked out that video, go check it out. That car is going to be here real soon for some fabrication. But today we're going to continue working on the engine that's going to be going into the all-wheel drive car. Now, if you guys are barely coming on board, or if you guys didn't catch it in the earlier videos, I mentioned that I am going to be selling the all-wheel drive car. I've had it for 6 years. I've had a lot of fun with it, a lot of different setups. It was my commuter at one point, and now it just sits there and not do anything. So I figured to kind of downsize my fleet of CRXs. If you guys don't know, we recently sold the Flip RX, so that's one car down. And I'm probably going to be selling this one soon once we finish it. And the giveaway car, we've been making some mad progress on it, guys, and you guys should see a couple of newer updates of this car as of late. But I'm going to be jumping on that car here real soon, but the goal now is to focus on that car. And it's just a car, I don't really do much with it anymore, so I figured let's sell it off to somebody who could actually use the car and enjoy it, or somebody who's been wanting a CRX. Again, GSR short block, got that from the junkyard, super healthy. I changed all of the water pump timing belt seals. The cylinder head's a GSR. It's got new head gasket, copper sprayed, seals changed out, new intake manifold gasket. We got a Blox intake manifold gasket to go with that. We're going to be running this in the car stock first, and then once we figure everything else with the car, we'll build a turbo kit for it, and then get that thing dyno tuned. I think I want to do all that before I do the all-wheel drive stuff, so that's the goal. In today's video, I'm pretty much going to jam right through it, yank everything out of that car, and the goal by the end of this video is to plant this in there. So the all-wheel drive car is making about 500 horsepower, and it is utilizing a twin disc. Now, the new setup, we're not going to be making that much power, so I'm not going to be using the twin disc on this setup. And previously, when that car was making 315, I was using a 6-puck clutch, and I was doing some really hard launches and stuff on the street, on the track. I've driven it thousands of miles without issues. So because we're looking for maybe about 350 on this car, I decided I'm going to keep it a single disc, something more streetable, because the twin disc on the clutch cable is pretty aggressive and it's really hard to get off at like every light when you come to a dead stop. So I hit up my sponsor, Action Clutch. Shout out Matt and the Action crew. They came in clutch with this setup really quick. I'm just gonna go right through the box. Stick with the best, Action Clutch. Go in the description below, click on the link, find your clutch, and before you check out, use discount code STATIC. This clutch right here, guys, is the Stage 3 1MS 6-puck, and I decided to keep it the spring disc, so that way it can help with the pedal feel on the street. The thing I like about Action Clutch's sprung disc is because they have this plate that helps the spring not break out of its diaphragm. I've ran a lot of different clutch setups before where you can actually see the spring in overtime during like hard launches and stuff. The spring breaks out and it causes a whole ruckus in the transmission housing. I've had that fail plenty of times. I trust this design a lot better because of the plate itself and the fact that it's got some really high quality rivets holding the whole entire assembly together. So again, guys, this is the B series Stage 3 1MS 6-puck sprung disc. Action Clutch comes with the heavy duty pressure plate right off the rip, so this is going to be great for performance. Also, some goodies. We got the Action Clutch sticker right here. We have a lanyard to replace the one that I broke. We have a brand new release bearing. We have the clutch alignment tool and the flywheel bushing right here. Probably gonna have to pull my flywheel off to change this out. Might as well, right? Last but not least, instructions, warranty, I did not see this before, but I'm seeing it now. Charity. Dear customer, thank you for placing an order with us. We appreciate your support. Part of your order will be contribute to our charity program. You are part of the reason why a family in need will receive groceries and essentials for a full month. Thank you for being a part of the change. You are forever appreciated. Sincere, Eric. They're doing an awesome thing. Go down in the description below, guys. Click the link to Action Clutch, find a clutch, use discount code static, save 10%, and a part of that is going to go to charity. Help a great cause. So we got the clutch all installed, and the last thing we need to do is the release bearing, which I need to pull that junk hunk out, but everything is torqued to specs, no uggas here, and this thing is ready to make some jam. I made sure that these dowel pins are in place because this is what help aligns the transmission onto the block, which this has its own dowel pins on, so I'm gonna have to remove a set here. Okay, well anyways, release bearing, super simple. The little spring behind the fork here, you can't really, I don't know if you can see it, there's a spring right here. Pretty much just slip it off the ball that it pivots on. This whole assembly comes out. I'm gonna give this a quick little scrub down, and then I'm gonna re-grease it. I just used some parts store, grease the bearing. Never really had any issues using this, whatever this is. Got the fork kind of cleaned up. I'm just gonna grease up the pivot hole right there, right? A little bit on the spring where it's gonna be moving around. You don't want to grease it too much because you don't want this grease to be flying all over the belt housing area into the clutch, and then the clutch is going to start slipping and stuff like that. So I'm going to grease these pivot fork right here and a little bit more. I'm going to grease the neck where the bearing actually slides onto, back and forth, back and forth. You don't have to go super excessive, just enough. Got the new release bearing right here. Super simple. It's not directional, so it literally just slides on. Which way is it? Which way? This way. Just like that. All of this will get locked in when you get that bearing seated on the neck and the fork on the pivot point, which is right here. All you gotta do, press it down. Locked. Done. This will tighten up once the transmission is closed on the clutch, because that rides on the diaphragm right here. So now we're ready to put the transmission on. So I'm not going to be needing this adapter plate because we're going to be putting the 1310 joints on here to match the flange. Just going to keep this adapter plate for a future project. Yes, I said it, future project. So starter and bracket is on for the clutch cable. Not much more to install on this engine because everything else that we need is in the car. So we're just gonna go ahead and get that thing turned on and move to the driveway. So the car is on the driveway, jacked up, ready to rock and roll. I've literally just been sitting here for like 20-25 minutes telling myself, damn, am I really doing this right now? But yes, I am really doing this right now. So we already set in stone with what we're going to be doing with this car, guys, and I'm not going to turn back now. I always tell people, even myself included, if you ever had the thoughts of selling your car now, later, or whatever the case is, most of the time you're going to end up selling it. So I'd rather just get over with it now. So this thing is ready to get torn apart. We're going to throw you guys on the laps. I'm just trying to get this knocked out and get that engine back in here, get the wheels back on it, get it back on the floor. Actually I don't have the header, but let's make some progress. Whew, guys, like 2 hours has passed by. I took the engine harness off of my engine over there, right? This engine bay was super grimy. Popped an axle a while ago, catch can blowing through the oil, and a lot of oil kind of sat down here, and the harness itself was obviously in the back, so that was kind of caked up. I pressure washed the entire engine bay, and I ended up just rinsing the entire car down too, because the car parked on the dirt, the rain drizzled and bounced a lot of the dirt off the floor onto the car, and with the car cover it kind of seeped through as well too. So engine bay's cleaned. That engine is stripped of all of its parts except the distributor. I'm gonna do that last because I can do it last, obviously, but I got the engine harness repaired, cleaned up of all of the grease and grimes, and I went through every single what do you call this, sleeving, and I cleaned them up. I electrical taped them so they're not frayed out like this right here. This one doesn't have a plug on it yet, so the rest of the harness is cleaned up, tucked up really nicely. I had 2 sets of injector clips that was on the injector harness. I clipped out the ID clips out of it, and we're running the OBD1 style plugs. The FIC injectors are the OBD1, so I kept the OBD1s in here, and these are OBD1 stock injectors as of right now. I got all of the stuff zipped out of the way. This is just kind of flipped over right now. I also eliminated the black box down here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I got a TSM breather box plug block off, and then I have a -10. You can't see it, but there's a -10 fitting right here on the block. I took off that little freeze plug, a little 14 mil freeze plug, plugged this up right here, and that is going to be for the drain for the catch can. I mean, you can't even see it here either, but there's a -10 on the bottom of the catch can right here that's going to drain back into the system. I'd rather run that on a turbo setup because this car is going to be turboed. If it was all motor, I'd have kept the black box on it, which is this right here. But just for extra security, I'm going to run a breather setup. And technically I don't need the drain back, but we'll see. when this car turns on, we'll see if it smokes or whatever the case is. Maybe I'll eliminate the drain back, because you don't want to drain contaminated oil back into your engine. But if we don't have no crazy blow by or whatever the case is, we'll just use the block off plug for the hole that this goes into, and we'll just put the freeze plug back in and then cap off the catch can. We'll figure all that when we get to it. But I think I'm just about ready to put this motor back into the car. So you guys already know what the deal is. Jack it up as high as I can, sketch as hell, slide it underneath, drop it. It's gonna take some time, so I'm just gonna do the magic of YouTube. 1, 2, 3. All right, so engine is in the car, and I've buttoned up a lot of things with it. A lot of the smaller stuff that I can install now, I did. So fuel done, throttle cable, we're just gonna wait until we get another throttle body, because I want the map sensor to sit on top. This is AWD 0, so it has a remote map sensor that I don't want to run, because that means extra mounting and stuff. Clutch cable installed with the bracket on the starter and the Hasport actuator. On the back side, we did booster. I had to turn this little barb backward because this was pointing up, and because my booster is upside down, my booster line is actually at the bottom, so I had to bend that over and hook that up. The harness is obviously installed, but it is just kind of chilling right here, because I kind of want to button up all of that right there, and there is a lot of stuff coming out of the firewall. So this right here is for the Mac boost solenoid. That's this loomed up one right here. Vacuum line is for the boost gauge. We have an alternator charge harness, because normally when you buy a tuck harness, it comes externally unless you requested to put it internally. Mine is external. Down here we have this is for the fan, which runs up to the front here. We have wideband plug for the AFR sensor. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and we have the power to the starter with the push start that goes up to right here. All of that stuff right there, I want to button it up tomorrow. Kind of want to take more time on making that look really nice and clean, loom up some of the colored wires and stuff, so it's more stealth down there. Obviously we don't have a valve cover. I gotta go to storage, get the exhaust manifold. We obviously don't have an exhaust for this car, and I'm not running the full 3-inch on here. Probably gonna just run an open header for now until we go turbo, and then we'll figure all the exhaust stuff with that later. So obviously everything else in the front is not installed, because the order operation with all of this stuff before the radiator and all of that. The J front I'm gonna pull off. It's not gonna stay with the car, so that means the bumper is gonna stay off as well. We're making progress in the right direction, guys. We're not that far from getting this thing to turn on. It's probably just another like full day worth of work, and this thing will be buttoned up and ready for the first startup. I'm gonna save that for a later time, but in the meantime I am gonna take care of all the other set things off camera, because repetitive. I've shown you guys, you already know what the deal is. I've swapped this thing a million times. It's all the same process. But I pretty much wrapped it up. A lot of my stuff is already cleaned up here, guys, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked and saddened at the same time, but I'm more stoked because I want to know what the setup will do. Definitely looking forward to doing the all-wheel drive conversion, the small build series to this car, after the engine and turbo setup is all said and done. So yeah, I'm tired, I'm beat, and that is going to be the end of this video. So if you guys enjoyed today's update on this car, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for the first startup, I'm not sure if it's the next video or if I'm going to jump into that car, because still gotta order some stuff to ship in. But if you guys want to stick around and see what's next, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.